false pretender.
Gonna take it easy. You won't get away tonight.
Shabba, are you a Buju Banton fan?
Well, most definitely right now, from a forfeit the law of God Almighty, you deserve crucifixion. Most definitely.
If you're a fan of dancehall, you've probably heard the name Shabba Ranks. Shabba's journey wasn't just about music. It's filled with controversy, epic feuds, and some major comebacks. Let's take a closer look at how Shabba went from the streets of Kingston to becoming a global superstar. Shabba Ranks, born Rexton Ralston Fernando Gordon on January 17, 1966, in Sturgetown, Jamaica, didn't have the easiest start. Raised in Seaview Gardens, Kingston, Shabba's dad, Ivan, was a mason who sadly passed in 1990, while his mom, Constance, aka Mama Christie, stayed back in Jamaica, holding down the fort and helping the community with the money Shabba sent after he left. Shabba's claim to fame? Toasting, a style of rapping that helped him stand out from other Jamaican artists who were more focused on singing. He first got his start under the name Co-Pilot before linking up with DJ Josie Wales, who helped guide his career. By the late 80s, Shabba was on the rise, getting signed to Epic Records in 1989, which was a game-changer for him. But of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Shabba's journey wasn't without some drama. He faced a bunch of controversy along the way.
Shabba, are you a Buju Banton fan?
Well, most definitely right now, from a forfeit the law of God Almighty, you deserve crucifixion. Most definitely.
So, in 1992, Shabba found himself in some seriously hot water after making homophobic comments on the Channel 4 music show The Word. He publicly backed Buju Banton's track Boom Bye Bye, which promoted violence against LGBTQ+ people. To back up his stance, Shabba quoted the Bible, claiming it supported the crucifixion of homosexuals. Unsurprisingly, this sparked major outrage worldwide.
Their sort of sentiments and mentality becoming acceptable, that was something that we really couldn't abide. We felt like we had to really speak out about that.
The fallout was swift and brutal. Shabba got pulled from a Bobby Brown concert, and his relationship with his record label, Sony Music, hit the rocks. Shows got canceled, deals were dropped, and by 1996, he was out of a record deal altogether. Eventually, Shabba apologized, saying he regretted his words and admitted that his comments might have implied violence toward gay people. But despite the apology, the damage to his career was done, and it was tough for him to bounce back to the heights he once reached internationally. Shabba's career wasn't just about music or being dropped by his label for making homophobic comments. He also had some serious beefs with other dancehall legends, like Ninja Man and Super Cat. These feuds got pretty heated and played out in the media, just adding more drama and controversy to his already chaotic career. Speaking of chaotic career, he had some well-publicized beefs with other artists. Shabba and Ninja Man. Yeah, their rivalry was everything in the dancehall world. These two were straight-up drama, constantly going at each other with diss tracks and throwing shade in public. Fans couldn't get enough of it. In dancehall, clashes are like a musical fight club where artists drop fire tracks and spit bars to prove who's king. Shabba and Ninja Man's beef was no different. These were the main events, and the crowds were hyped. Their styles were totally different too. Shabba's all about that deep, gravelly voice and mixing reggae with dancehall, while Ninja Man came with rapid-fire bars and a crazy, unpredictable energy. Things really popped off in the late 80s and early 90s, with both dropping diss tracks like crazy, trying to claim their spot at the top. Fans were picking sides, making it even more intense. But honestly, all that drama just made the dancehall scene even more lit. Then, there's the beef with Super Cat. Oh, their rivalry was straight-up legendary in the dancehall world. This feud had everyone talking in the late 80s and early 90s. It wasn't just music. It was a full-on battle for who could dominate the scene. These two were constantly going at each other with diss tracks and throwing shade on stage. It was all about showing who had the better bars and stage presence, and fans were loving it. Shabba was known for his deep, gravelly voice and mixing reggae with dancehall, while Supercat came through with rapid-fire delivery and a reputation for being a straight-up powerhouse performer. Their beef made for some of the most intense clashes, and you bet the crowds were packed every time. The fans ate it up too, picking sides and keeping the rivalry going strong. It was drama on top of music, and honestly, it made dancehall even more exciting to watch. Shabba might have hit some major bumps in his career, but he's not one to stay down for long. After his fall from grace in the 90s, he kept pushing forward, releasing new music and staying active in the scene, even though the international spotlight had dimmed. After getting dropped by Epic Records in 1996, his global presence faded, but Shabba wasn't done. In 2007, he teamed up with Busta Rhymes and Akon for the track Clear the Air, giving fans a taste of his comeback. Then, in 2011, he dropped None a Dem, a track that reminded everyone why he's a legend in dancehall. Fast forward to 2012, and Shabba's name popped up again on Tech N9's EP EBAH, with the track Boy Toy, showing that he could still hang with some of the biggest names in hip-hop. He didn't stop there. 2013 saw him get a shout-out in ASAP Ferg's hit Shabba, and even made a cameo in the music video. Plus, the remix featuring Migos and Busta Rhymes gave his presence in modern music even more of a boost. Okay, so Shabba isn't as big as he used to be. How did he become such a global superstar? What's his story?
Sam, you are the first dancehall artist to win a Grammy. First of all, congratulations, making history in 1991. What did that feel like?
Wow, great, great, great. You know what I mean? It's like a lady having a nice baby, nice baby.
And then you did it again the next year.
Well, it's the second baby.
Shabba made a name for himself by toasting like I said before, instead of the usual singing we hear in dancehall. He was taken under the wing of DJ Josie Wales and originally went by the stage name Co-Pilot. His rise to fame really took off in the late 80s alongside other Jamaican artists like Coco T and Crystal, plus he even got to work with legends like Chuck Berry and American rappers KRS-One and Chubb Rock. Shabba locked down a record deal with Epic Records, which was a huge step for his international career. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Shabba's track Dembo ended up being a game changer for reggaeton. The song's rhythm became super popular in Puerto Rican freestyle sessions, and that's where early reggaeton really took off. In fact, the beat, known as Dembo, became so iconic that it's basically the heartbeat of reggaeton today. Talk about setting trends.
False pretender.
Shabba blew up internationally with his massive hit, Mr. Loverman, but that wasn't the only track that had people vibing. He also dropped bangers like House Call with Maxi Priest, Slow and Sexy with Johnny Gill, Respect, Pirates Anthem, Trailer Load of Girls, Wicked in a Bed, Con Dun, and Ting a Ling. Dude was on fire. Oh, and let's not forget, he took home the Grammy for Best Reggae Album in both 1992 and 1993 with As Raw as Ever and Extra Naked. He even jumped on the Addams Family Values soundtrack, giving a reggae twist to Sly and the Family Stone's Family Affair. Major flex. He dropped his third album, Me Shabba, in 1995, but things took a turn when he got dropped by Epic Records in '96. Despite the setback, they still released a Shabba Ranks and Friends Greatest Hits album in 1999. Talk about leaving a legacy. Shabba Ranks made a bit of a comeback in 2007 when he hopped on Busta Rhymes' track Clear the Air alongside Akon. Fast forward to 2011, and he dropped None a Dem on Big Ship's Pepper Rhythm, Straight Fire. Then, in 2012, Shabba linked up with Tech N9 for the track Boy Toy on his EBAH EP 2013. It was his year. Not only did A$AP Ferg shout him out in Shabba, but Shabba also made a cameo in the music video. He even joined the remix with Migos and Busta Rhymes later that year. Plus, word was he was cooking up new music for an album. Shabba wasn't done yet. Shabba Ranks may have had his fair share of drama, but his impact on music is undeniable. From defining reggaeton's early sound to staying relevant in the game decades later, he's proven that true icons never fade. So whether you're a die-hard fan or just discovering his hits, Shabba's legacy in dancehall is here to stay. Shabba isn't the first artist that has put his career in a compromising position for going on interviews and saying the wrong thing.
About slavery for 400 years. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
There's Kanye back in 2018. Kanye West dropped a bomb during a TMZ interview, claiming that 400 years of slavery sounds like a choice. Yep, he actually said that, and it instantly blew up. People weren't having it. Historians, celebs, and just about everyone else called him out for being tone-deaf and wildly off base about something so serious. Kanye later tried to explain, saying he was talking about mental enslavement, but by then, the backlash was in full swing. It left a major dent in his reputation, with fans and critics alike shaking their heads. There's also Lil Wayne.
You looking at me, but I'm looking through you. I see the...
Lil Wayne found himself in hot water after making some seriously problematic comments about the LGBTQ+ community during a 2011 interview on The Breakfast Club. Fans and advocacy groups were quick to call him out, and the backlash was brutal. It didn't just stop at public outrage. Wayne lost big endorsement deals, and his reputation took a serious hit. Even though he tried to apologize and explain himself, the damage was already done, leaving a stain on his career that people haven't forgotten. Then there's Chris Brown.
Please don't judge me, and I won't judge.
Chris Brown's career took a major nosedive after the shocking assault on Rihanna back in 2009. It all went down right before the Grammys, and the graphic details of what happened left everyone shook. Brown ended up with a felony assault charge, and while he pled guilty and got hit with community service, probation, and counseling, the fallout was far from over. Over the next few years, he kept adding fuel to the fire with some questionable behavior. One of the most infamous moments? His Good Morning America interview in 2011. After getting grilled about the assault, he reportedly lost it backstage, which only made things worse. Between his defensive attitude and ongoing drama, his relationships with fans and industry insiders definitely took a hit.